to pull those type of lists, because it just depends on how the information and the data is made available to the public, will mean on how many actual properties will be included in a particular type of quick list choice you choose, so you can understand that. All right, now over here to the left, we have owner occupied. Now that means that they own the property, but they don't live in it. You can say non-owner occupied is the term. The other term that describes it, you'll hear this a lot, is absentee owner, meaning that they own the property, but they don't live in it. They can only have one homestead. Any additional real estate that they own is considered non-owner occupied or absentee. So if you want to target that particular type of list, you select no. Once you select something, over here to the right, it shows you what's in your search, and you can always delete something if you want. All right, under here it says occupancy status. Now here it says either occupied or vacant, meaning they can live there, or it could be a renter or whoever. You could do vacant. Not really my preference. I don't care if they're vacant or empty, but a lot of people would target only vacant properties, so that's an option. But remember, you could do it here at the quick list choices also. All right. Now, but you may want to combine non-owner occupied with vacant. You can't do that with the quick list. You would have to do here through the manual side of it. All right, so I'm just going to leave that as any. All right, the other thing is on the property characteristics. Now, this gets into types of properties that you're dealing with, which we're talking about houses here. But if you want to target particular types of commercial properties, you could through these choices here also. All right, so we're going to go into all classifications. We're going to go residential. And then as you see here, we got single family condos, multifamily 5+. And then you scroll down, you can see all the other types of properties. So we're targeting houses, so we're going to say single family. All right. The next thing is the number of bedrooms and baths. I really don't care about that. You can get into that if you want. You might do a minimum square footage that you want to deal with and so on. But I really don't care about that. So we're good here. But again, it's totally up to you on what you want to, what type of list you want to target. MLS status. The only thing that I really focus on right here is I want it to be off market. So it says on market, so I want to select no here. One of the reasons you have power as a wholesaler is that you found something that no one else knew about, and you present it to the world or to the investment world or whatever. If it's already on the market, then it's already advertised to the world, and that's a different process. So we're here to target properties that are currently not for sale anywhere, especially online. All right, so we're going to select no there. All right, the next thing is the pre-foreclosure status. Really don't care about that in this situation, because if you wanted to, you can do it here in the quick list sources, choices here. All right, owner info. Now, this is an important tab here. All right, you have owner type over here to the right. Now, whenever you're trying to skip trace list to try to find sellers, you need the house to be in their name and not in a corporation such as an LLC or something of that type, some type of business entity, mixed or trust. You don't need that. So we're going to select individual, which means it's just in their actual name, which that's a ton of properties the way they currently register as far as the current owner. All right. The other thing over here, as you can see, we still have over 18,000 properties with the number to the right here where my cursor is. We have over 18,000 properties with what I've selected so far. So I'm going to say that they've owned it for 5 years or more, so years of ownership. So now you see how the list just got reduced down to 6891. All right. The other thing I can do down here, which is some other stuff in here, but these are the main ones that I like. You can see they're self-explanatory here. All right. Now, one thing here. Now, you may want to target someone that owns more than one property. So you may say 2 or more. All right. So it reduced it a little bit from 6,800 plus to 6,200 plus. What if we say they own 5 or more? Let's see how much it reduces it. So now it cuts it in half down to 3,300 plus. We're going to go back to 2 or more properties. Okay. Now, again, you can see everything that I've selected is over here to the right. All right. The other thing is absentee owner location. Now, you can just target only out-of-state owners. If I select that, boom, it reduces it down to only 677. Say I wanted to target people that don't live in they live in the state of Alabama, but they don't live in the county where the property is located. So that reduces it down to 733. Now, local shows that they live in the county also, right? The same county, so it goes back up to 4,800. So I'm just going to deselect that. So we're still at 6219. So now you have that total list builder. Now, there's a couple other things you could do down here, but I'll show you in a moment. All right, now, so this is a pretty good list that you have built here. So they non-owner occupied, it's residential single family, which means it's a house. It's not on the market, meaning it's not listed on the through a real estate agent or online anywhere. Years of ownership, 5 or more. Ownership type, individual, so it's actually in their name. Number of properties they own, 2 or more, right? And that's a pretty good list. All right, so that's over 6,200 plus. 6,219 on this particular list. All right, so that's one type of list. So let's do this. Let's go here and we're going to clear all. I could have hit reset there, and we're going to go back in here. All right, so now what if I just want to do a quick list? I don't go through most of this over here to the left. All right, so what if I just do want to target vacants? All right, so it reduces it down to 10,000 on this particular list of actual vacant properties. But I still want it only to be, number one, I want it to only be houses. I still would need to go in here and select residential, single family. All right, so I reduced it down to 7,000. Also, still want it to be off market. All right, I reduced it a little more. Then I want the ownership to be in their name. That reduced it down to 5,000. I want them to have owned it for, we're going to say at least a year. That reduced it down to 2,639. Now, if I want to say they own 2 or more properties, that reduced it down to 1,700. So see how that changes everything. Now, if I want it to be, if it's vacant, there's no one there anyway, so it doesn't have to be owner occupied. All right. Now that is a quick list choice there. All right, so let's clear this. All right, so I reset it down here at the bottom. So let's do this. Let's do one of my favorite lists is tired landlords. All right, we're going to do residential. We're going to do single family. We're going to do off market by going in and changing the MLS status. All right, and the reason we say tired landlords, they own the property, they've been rented out and maybe still rented or not rented, maybe squatters there, any number of reasons. But that'll be your largest group of individuals that'll be motivated to sell real estate cheap because they own a great deal of the real estate. All right, so now with that, now if we wanted to, we can add another layer here. So we're going to say individual, so it's not in the LLC or anything. That reduces it down to 10,000. All right, now down here, what if we want to say they're out-of-state owners? It reduces down to only 253, okay? So we don't want to do that. I like a larger list than that. So we go to local, within the same county, they live there. Their mailing address is there as the owner. It goes up to 2,200. All right, that's building a tired landlords list. One of my other favorites is free and clear. All right, we'll reset this and could have just left a lot of the same criteria, but we'll go back to free and clear. All right, non-owner occupied. All right, it's down to 70,000. So we want single family residential. All right, and what else we got? We're gonna do I'm gonna do off market. Okay, individual. And we'll say own for 5 years. All right, so we're down to 5,300 plus. All right, we want to say they've owned 2 or more properties. All right, down to 4,900. So what if I just change this to high equity? It's up to 5,600. What if I said pre-probate? Down to 18. What if I said zombie properties? None. Tax delinquencies, None. There's another way to get into tax properties. I'll do that in a second. What if we said pre-foreclosures? Only one, based on that criteria. Bank owned, only two. Cash buyer is something different, which I will have a video at the end for that. Liens, well, I did pre-foreclosure. Let me see. Liens, 45. Okay, so let's do this though. So we're gonna go out. We're not gonna do one of the quick list choices here based on this criteria that we have here, which is non-owner occupied residential, which is a house, off the market, individual 2 or more years. So we want to target tax lien properties. I know we have the tax delinquent option here, but the best way to do this in a lot of counties that I've targeted is just go down here to liens, bankruptcy, divorce status under specific lien type and select tax lien. Okay, so now it pulls everything there based on this additional criteria. Now, if I go in here and hit any, that takes that number from 46 up to 315. If I go in here on the ownership information and reduce this down to 0, it takes it up to 725. One owner, one property or more, if I remove that, it takes it up to 2,600. Okay, so all of that changes now. You go ahead in the property characteristics, you can change this also if you want to target more than houses, if you're targeting tax lien type properties. And so that's the list that you can build and target in a number of ways. Okay, so now we say we have a list that we want to build. So we're just going to go with the list that we have here. So the next thing is to go here and you select the entire list. Now you go over here to filter, and depending on your subscription type, you can download up to 1,000 at once. So we put in 1,000 here. All right. And we go back and select this. So it shows 1,000 selected. So you add to list. Now, if you already have a list built, then you would just simply go in here and select the list. If you already have a list built, you see I have a ton of them here. All right, so if you want to create a brand new list, and just for the sake of this, we'll do that. We'll just say new list. And I probably won't be able to find that, but anyway, we'll figure it out. So I'll just put in here 01. Maybe we can find that easily. So I hit save. Once I save that list, takes a second. Now we still have, I think it was a total of 2,619. So you're gonna have to grab those others. I'm gonna show you in a second how to do that. All right, so now what you'll do is, so we'll go from, we're at 1. So we want another 1,000. So we'll go up to 2,000. Right? And we'll change this to 1,001. And we hit select. So boom. So now it's 1,000 there. Okay, so now hit add to list. Now I just simply go in here and find that list that I just created. Okay, so boom, here's the list. So I found the list. So I'll hit save here. So it's going to save the other 1,000 to that list I just created. All right, close that. So now how do I access this list? So I go over here under my properties to the left here. And then if I hit this little search bubble there, I can put in, I think I named it new list. So there it is there. So I select that. All right, so now I can download this list here. If I just simply selecting that and exporting, but you don't want to do that. So yours won't look like this, because the only thing I have here is the property address, property city, state, zip, owner first name, owner last name, mailing address, mailing city, mailing state, mailing zip. So how did I get it like that? So you go over here to this little cog over here, and it's going to automatically have some defaults here. So what you want selected is what I just have here, because that's what you'll use. That's the only information you need use to do mailings and skip tracing for your text messaging or cold calling. Okay, so now it's automatically going to default the address of the property that you're targeting, the city, state, zip, owner 1 first name, owner 1 last name, mailing address, mailing city, mailing state, mailing, zip. All right, now everything else in all these other tabs here, you want to deselect those. Everything else for the sake of this, if you're trying to skip trace, because that's the only information you're going to need. So now what you'll do is you go here to new layout, you name it. So if you name it, you apply and save, then it will appear over here to the under the select the layout. So now if you want to make that your default, you select default and then you hit apply and save. So boom, you'll have your list there. So now it's time to download it. So it'll change everything to this. So now it's time to download it. So you select the option here, the button here, and then you select export. Now, once you actually export your file, you'll need to open the Excel file up. And if you don't have Excel on your laptop or PC or whatever, then you can use Google Docs. And so anyone with a Gmail account, you have access to Google Documents. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do it in both ways. Okay, so now we're in Excel. So what you do, you go over here to data, and when the column that you're looking for is mailing address. All right, that's the only one that needs to be selected, because if it's the same owner, the tax bill is going to the same mailing address. And so you don't want to skip trace duplicates or send out letters to the same address multiple times, because that's charging you more. So you want to remove those. All right, so it's mailing. If you set it up the way I just set it up, it should be column G, but you want to double check. It should be titled mailing address right here. All right, so what you'll do is under data, you go to remove duplicates. All right, and then it says my list has headers, which it does. And so now I'm going to deselect this and scroll down to G and select that only, and then hit OK. So it removes 6 duplicates. So now the list is 1994. Hit OK. And then, of course, you would just save it to wherever you're going to save it for, and then upload it. Now, that's how you do it in Microsoft Excel. So let's do this in Google Sheets. Okay, so we're in Google Sheets. So first thing you want to do is go over here to this folder over here, open file picker. All right, upload, select a file from your device, and it's in my download right here, so boom. Okay, so once you have it opened, you go to data, data cleanup, and select remove duplicates. So like before on Microsoft Excel, you'll select data has header row, and you know it was column G with the mailing address. But first I'm going to deselect all and select column G. And Google Sheets make it easier to identify that. And then you hit remove duplicates, and boom, 6 again. So now you have your actual list that you can download to do whatever you want to with, whether it's direct mail, for text messaging, and cold calling. Boom, you made it. So if you want to actually use this same tool, just simply text the word tool now to the 205-964-5243 to gain access to the same tool that we use on a day-to-day basis to do deal after deal. Also, while you're here, please like and share this, subscribe.